Are you flipping the rage bait on me?
What is that existence? Responding to chuds. I love doing it.
Let's go with the dog against the dogs.
Alabama.
When I had a choice to pick a co-host.
I know.
Oh, you're betting on the game. Why would you be doing that? Because it's fun. All right, I'm going to need you to relax over there. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson here on Geek'd Up Bets. It's NFL Draft Week. It's my favorite week of the year. I am going to be singularly focused on one thing, that being the 2026 NFL Draft. It kicks off this Thursday. I am not leaving this apartment from Thursday to the end of round 7 on Saturday. Programming note, we're probably going to go live at some point on Saturday after the draft instead of going live on Thursday. We'll probably do some additional reaction type videos throughout the course of the 2026 NFL Draft. And so you don't miss out on any of that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss any of our content coming up this week. Sean, are you as gassed up, as geeked up as I am?
Oh, I can't be as geeked up as you are, as I'm sure you've been playing Draft Day on repeat all day today.
I have not. I've been so busy. I have not gotten to watch Draft Day.
I want Vontae Mack. Okay.
That's Arvell Reese this year.
Why are you screaming at me?
That's Arvell Reese this
Come
year.
on. Seattle needs a winner, and you can give them Bo Callahan.
Sonny Styles, no matter what.
Worst freaking movie ever. Best movie ever. First time you watch it, and it's like, oh my God, I love the NFL Draft. And then you watch it again, and you're like, oh my God, am I a moron?
That's awfully irresponsible, Sonny. What are you doing? What are you doing here?
It's got just enough jargon to trick a sports fan on one watch.
Yeah, we were like 12 when it came out. So when we were 12, I was like, this is so cool. Wow, look at the maneuvering that he pulled off.
He got his picks back.
I will not.
I want my picks back.
I won't let you disparage this movie, though. It's kind of one of those things where, like, everyone's got that one crappy childhood movie that they watch that's just really, really bad, but you
Not
can't.
Me. I watch bangers.
You do?
Bangers
You don't have one movie that you watched when you were a kid that you can look back on and think, that was a bad movie, but I still respect it.
Look at me in my eyes and tell me Real Steel was a bad movie.
That was a bad movie. Hold on. That was not a good movie.
Oh, screw you. That was awesome.
Was it?
It grabbed me. That's all I'll say.
I'm sure a lot of things were grabbing your
fighting robots.
Fighting
robots versus NFL Draft.
Yeah, NFL Draft 10 times out of 10. I gotta figure out what is Draft Day available on. Wait, where?
Pluto, Tubi, Fubo.
Don't disparage
Amazon Prime Extra.
It's on Peacock or the Roku channel.
Yeah, or the Roku channel. The Roku channel, aka default free TV.
The fact that I have to go repay for Peacock just to watch Draft Day is really upsetting. I implore everybody to go do that if they want to prepare themselves mentally. Sean, before we do dig in here, and we're going to talk about the latest buzz that happened on Monday. We'll probably do a couple more of these videos throughout the week. And then after the draft kind of rolls around, we'll do more reaction style stuff. We're going to get to the A.J. Brown latest on his trade to the Patriots and what that means for the first round of the draft. Aaron Rodgers, of course, apparently we're supposed to let the Steelers know a month after the season ended. And here we are. It is almost the end of April, and he has not told the Steelers if he's coming back or not. We're going to talk about what that means for the Steelers. We're going to talk about the Dexter Lawrence aftermath on what we think the Giants are now going to do with their 2 top 10 picks. And we have to talk about this steam for Jeremiyah Love to go 3rd overall. That is making me want to throw up in my mouth because I love Jeremiyah Love, and I knew this was going to happen. The least prepared team to take on a star running back is the one who apparently wants him the most. Anything that you're juiced up about this weekend before we get into these 4 topics? Or anything you're watching for,
like with the draft?
It was the NBA playoffs, actually. Yes,
I put together my top 5 most interesting teams heading into the draft. So I am looking forward.
Who was like the number 1 team for you in that? I saw you publish that is on Sean's Substack for anyone who wants to check that out.
I'm excited to do my top 5 at post-draft because that's so much more fun when you get to start plugging in pieces and think how they'll do. Number 1 was the Bears because are they really doing it? Like, are we actually doing it here? Do you guys actually have a quarterback? Do you guys are you going to the playoffs back-to-back years?
I know you were definitely detailed in writing this article, but I really wish for that blurb you didn't like clarify what it was, and you just kept writing it.
Oh yeah,
you should have done that.
Chicago boy.
What is it?
Yeah, I should have
playing a football season.
Yeah, no paragraph. It should have just been left as point of interest. Are they really doing it? Yeah, the Cowboys are number 2, just simply because you never know what Jerry's capable of. Chiefs, because they're in an un-Chiefs-like position. So watching to see what they do with a top 10 pick, which they have not held since 2017, last used on Mahomes. Chargers were at 4 for me of top 5 interesting teams, because they need to do it fast, or else their quarterback is going to start getting hated on. And your team was cracked number 5, which I would bump them up now that they have OBJ back in the building.
I don't want to get to the OBJ thing. We're not going to get to the OBJ thing.
How
but
could we
the
not?
Dexter Lawrence trade, he hasn't signed. It was just for a physical. And I honestly doubt that he actually is in the right shape to be warranted him being signed at the current moment.
You sound
hard to believe.
You sound like
what?
We're not dating OBJ yet. We just slept together. That's basically what happened.
No. OBJ won't stop calling us, so he said that he could meet us out at the bar. That's what it was. There's no toxic exes. I don't want anything to do with him. I do not want him on the Giants.
Why is he in your building then?
Because John Harbaugh is the last coach that I believe the last coach that coached him. No. He was with Miami. He was with the Ravens before that. He was one of the last coaches that he worked with. So I think that he's kind of owing it to him to let's see if you can move around. And I find it extremely hard to believe that he can capably move around. But I say this all to he's better than Jalen Hyatt. Anything's better than Jalen Hyatt. A traffic cone on wheels is better than Jalen Hyatt. What do you mean disagree?
I see promise out of the young guy.
When was the last time he ran a route right? When was the last time he caught a football that was thrown his way?
Okay, there were a couple miscues last season.
What are they going to enlist him to do? What are they going to
make him a punt returner? Just honestly make him a punt returner.
I don't think he can catch the ball. I don't think that he can catch a punt.
No, he's got all.
Because he would have been a punt returner by now. They had a punt return hole last year going into the season. It was kind of unclear. They went with Gunnar Olszewski for the 5th time.
Yeah, I swear to God, I've never seen a player get lit up on one team as a journeyman more than Gunnar Olszewski did on New York.
He explodes.
Got lit up
every single time he gets hit. All right, let's start here with AJ Brown. It seems like all but confirmed at this point that he is going to be a New England Patriot. Adam Schefter reported early on Monday morning. All the elements remain in place to make it happen, and Brown to the Patriots is still the likely outcome. Still not during this week's draft per sources. Put the trade on hold just for now, but things will soon quickly warm back up. Big reason for this is it becomes a lot cheaper for the Eagles to trade him after the draft. I think that this is a pretty strong indication the Eagles are going to go all in on drafting a wide receiver and drafting one early. Now, they did make some subsequent moves in order to improve the floor in case they couldn't draft the receiver they wanted, in case things fizzled out with this AJ Brown trade and they were put in a dire spot. Whatever could have happened. They brought in Dontavian Wicks. I think that Hollywood Brown's a pretty underrated ad for them. I think that they could get some production out of him, maybe 700 or so yards out of the slot. I think that's totally reasonable.
That's what every team that signed Hollywood Brown is thinking preseason. And then by week 4, he's on the cart.
Yeah, he's hurt.
And I love Hollywood Brown.
At the current moment, the first draft position odds for the Eagles is offensive line at -125 and wide receiver at +300. I implore anybody to go put money down in wide receiver at +300. As much as O-line is a need, they're going to need to find some sort of a replacement. And the other thing that's been brought up with this is that there has been, it was in Schefter's article, and it's also been teased multiple times, that Howie Roseman might have a desire to be aggressive in this year's draft. Do they go up and try and get Jordan Tyson? Do they try and get somebody that is a different body type than Devonta Smith? They can't draft Omar Cooper or Casey Concepcion. Those guys are slot receivers. That doesn't really work with Devonta Smith. That's not going to work. You need somebody with a little bit more of a frame, and I think that Jordan Tyson would be the guy to target or pay attention to for them to maybe go after.
You need a wide receiver that's comfortable going back for the ball, because it's going to be underthrown, and you need a wide receiver that can work the sidelines.
What? There's literally a clip of me that we posted on Shorts of saying that I don't think that Jalen Hurts is good. So
that was an easy clip to make.
Be direct with you. Don't think that he's good. You don't need to be sneaky about it.
I'm just saying that they should scout for the skill set that they have at quarterback, which is limited. So get the most unlimited wide receiver. And it's crazy because they had one in AJ Brown. And I hate I hate the coverage of this, that it's like, first of all, that Rossini broke it. It was all speculation, still is. 2, the hack jokes around Rossini now are starting to get bad. And 3, we were talking about this last year on this show, that A.J. Brown would be a Patriot. Literally before the season ended, this show,
like we had some sort of
we
sourcing.
were
just
talking
saying
about
it
it.
would make sense.
Oh, because it does make sense. What are the, you think that sourcing matters dick all to me if it's a make sense move? Because I called this. I called this before a report came out.
It was really Sean Anderson.
It was.
At that resort.
Credit me. Martyr me.
See, if you came to the combine when I saw Vrabel in the intersection, you could have replaced Rossini. You could have chummed it up with Vrabel, and you could have.
I can't go there because I go there once.
He looked like he was enjoying his night, and I think that you of all people could have. You could have interacted with him.
You know, then I'd be whiskey drunk, and I'd be full of me. I walked over, you're my hero, and then I'd be like, dude, get out of my face. You can never play for me. I just go back to the hotel hurt.
I could have totally. No, I think you would have had a little bit more decorum. I think that you could have absolutely gone down the rabbit hole with him, with that being one of 1,000 people there, media people there, that actually believes in Will Campbell at tackle. I think you could have talked to him for 2 hours about Will Campbell playing tackle.
Oh, that's a good slant. I definitely could have. I could have been like, hey, I see the vision. All right. All these other snakes are talking to you here in Indy, and they've trashed Will Campbell. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing it. Look, let me get your phone number.
Look, at the end of the day, though, to get back to the Eagles, I just would be so stunned if this is on the table and it's becoming increasingly more obvious that they don't draft the receiver at pick 23, or they don't try to trade up to draft the receiver. Maybe Carnell Tate also would make a lot of sense to me. Mekhi Lemon doesn't, but Carnell Tate would make some sense with his body type having a bigger frame. He's not a true X. He's not somebody who would ask to play X, but he's pretty good in contested spots with the balls in the air. The other dude, which we've brought up on the show before, and I'm going to keep bringing this up.
Yeah.
The hilarity about this draft class. And the funniest part with the last time that A.J. Brown was traded, the guy that the Titans drafted was with Treylon Burks was deemed to be the next A.J. Brown. And lo and behold, this year, there is another next A.J. Brown. Chris Bell could not be more of a direct clone of A.J. Brown. Go watch his tape. Go watch his highlights. His physical profile mirrors. He's got the big, bulky upper body, the big arms. He's really fluid in and out of his breaks. You'd expect him to be super stiff and heavy, but he's actually really freaking smooth. He's really hard to tackle. He separates from people. He's pretty fast for a guy of his size, being 220 pounds. He could not be more direct. And the big thing that I like about him that compares to A.J. Brown, A.J. Brown's really good when he's running routes over the middle of the field. And I think that Chris Bell does that too.
What about at 23, they go out and pick up Denzel Philadelphia out of Washington?
I don't hate it. I think that would be. I don't like Denzel Boston. I'd be just really honest with you. I don't like him.
6'4".
He's big and he's a really dominant contested catch guy. And he's one of these guys.
Sounds like he slots in for AJ.
He does. Big body dude who the ball's thrown to him. He can make some ridiculous catches. But there's a lot of discourse where everyone was saying, man, he's going to test really well and he's going to be a really good athlete for his size. Why the hell didn't he test at all during the pre-draft process? Unless I'm missing his pro day numbers, I don't think that he ran a 40. So if that's so true, then where the F are these numbers that you're talking about? In order for a guy to be justified as this big-bodied physical X contested catch point player, you got to be as good as Ted McMillan was, because Ted McMillan outperformed a lack of speed that he had. I just don't think that Denzel Boston's that dominant. I think that he leans more N'Keal Harry.
Oh,
I keep saying that's the
God.
Yeah.
Oh, I was not ready for that at the end. That is like a sword to the that is crazy.
You have to be Drake
You're basically
London.
calling him like you can't play in the NFL.
I'm not being that negative. I don't think that I have a early 3 on him, which is you could draft him as a sacrificial X and he ends up being a guy who catches like 600 yards in a good offense. I just don't see 1,000-yard smoke everybody, dog everybody, because Drake London is one of the few remaining guys that are those really big catch point dudes.
Yeah. I'll give that to you. Andy's on a great team with great quarterbacks with a great future. So I'm sure he's going to have an awesome year. Not getting overthrown.
In Philadelphia.
Who?
You're saying in Philadelphia?
Drake London in Philadelphia?
Oh, and Drake. I thought you were talking about Denzel Boston.
No. Drake London in Atlanta.
Oh.
With all of his resources and capabilities.
Well, he's perfect for that team because none of those quarterbacks can get him the ball, and he's really good at coming back for the ball.
Somehow they still overthrow Kyle Pitts, who's got a wider wingspan. I hate this team.
The other thing that was reported upon, Sean, Aaron Rodgers apparently is leaving the Steelers in limbo. Shocker. With how long he made them wait last offseason, he's doing it again. This is comical because the other aspect of this that was brought up by Schefter in his intel report on Monday was that apparently he was supposed to tell them a month after the 2025 season. And the NFL draft is this week. I'm sure the Steelers are not happy because they probably were hoping to have some sort of an answer. Unless he directly told them, which I find that hard to believe. I find it very hard to believe that he would have told them that. Last draft, the whole time we were expecting a quarterback to get picked at some point by the Steelers. We thought, is this the Shador team? Did they take Tyler Shuck? Maybe they're the Jackson Dart team.
Mm-hmm.
They took Will Howard much later.
Yeah.
They didn't really take a guy that was a long-term starter. They didn't really do that. I think that we could sit here and talk ourselves into Ty Simpson, but if they don't take Ty Simpson, I don't know who they're going to pick. At the current moment, their odds plus 150 to draft an offensive lineman, plus 175 to draft a receiver, and plus 700 to go quarterback in the first round.
Why don't they take the thick legs? Take thick legs. Drew Aller, the Pennsylvania kid.
You think that that's going to solve their problems?
No, but if they're going to pick a quarterback at their range, I would take a swing on him while you've had Will Howard there sitting there trying to sponge up whatever Aaron Rodgers is left. I bet he comes back if he hasn't retired already. Firstly, let's make that clear. I think he's playing in Pittsburgh next year because he's a sicko. And every time that we try to paint him as a savant on the field or a crazy person or selfish off the field, he comes back and he keeps on playing because there's nothing better than being in it and nothing better than being in the league. It's like you people forgot the David Justice scene in Moneyball. I'm trying to milk everything out of you, every last ounce of baseball you got, and you want to stay in the show. That's what we got with Rodgers. Now, is this poor form? Yes. Give your team notice. You've been around long enough. Now, he did say, Joe, if you remember, like when he's done with football, I'm just going to disappear for 6 years. Nobody's going to hear from me. Like nobody. Buddy, if you still got loose ends, you got to tie them up before you go off and do that. That's kind of a little rule in the NFL, is to not tank the team that you could possibly be on. I understand, like, if I tell them I'm coming back and then they draft around me, then that could hurt them also. Just let them know where you're at, and then they could figure it out. Them not hearing from you is a bad scene. It helps Pittsburgh not one bit. But am I excited for him to be back next year? I would be. Am I excited to see Will Howard starting? Even more so.
See, I think the more that I've thought about it, I don't think that they're going to be the Ty Simpson team because they think that they're holding out a little bit of hope of Rodgers just saying, screw it, let's do this. And knowing how emotional he is, I feel like if they took Ty Simpson, he'd immediately be like, no, I'm done. I'm not doing this. They're not serious about this. They should have taken a wide receiver. They should have taken an offensive lineman. I
drove there with my own gas, and then I learned that they're drafting the quarterback.
Right. I was on the way to the facility. I was going to surprise them. I brought a carrot cake. I was going to,
baby, I literally had flowers in my car before you broke up with me. Like I don't know. Like, it's just the Mr. Waited out until it gets that bad.
You know what I really, and I don't know if this is like totally viable. I think that they just need to call it quits. Just trade for Anthony Richardson. I don't think that they've got a better option on the table here.
I'll give them Tua for TJ Watt right now, 1-1.
I don't think that they want that.
Okay.
I don't think they want that.
All right.
Hold on. Tua for TJ Watt. I just heard
1-1 right now. Pittsburgh hit the line. All right. I don't think my GM's doing enough.
You need to be put into a dog cage.
I'd like to see Anthony Richardson there.
I think that would be fun. I think that Anthony Richardson of any possible landing spot, it would be fun. And we already saw them try and do this with a different iteration of Richardson when they tried it with Justin Fields. And to be quite fair, Justin Fields started the season pretty good before they stupidly decided to turn over to Russell Wilson, and it completely derailed some of the progress they had. I tell you what,
actually.
You trade for Anthony Richardson. You send him a late day 3 pick or something. Just get him off their hands, the Colts' hands. They want some sort of return. Draft Mike Washington. So you got Caleb Johnson and Mike Washington, and we're gonna run the veer. We're gonna run the ball, and we're gonna run the hell out of the rock. We're gonna go multi tight ends. We're gonna run the ball 60 times a game, and we'll throw the ball 15 times. I think that's more of a plan than going with decrepit old dummy
DK
Aaron
can
Rodgers.
block. Got Darnell. He can block.
He could get a couple sweeps.
I actually like that plan, Joe. I always end up liking your crazy ass plans that just
Run the
involve
option.
running the option or running it 60 times a game. Like I love that. But here's why it wouldn't. I almost talked myself out of it immediately because Anthony Richardson would have to play Myles Garrett twice a year and the Ravens defensive backfield twice a year. And I think they go 0-4 in those games, which is very unlike the Pittsburgh Steelers.
One would argue if they're running the ball up the middle every single play, then they wouldn't deal with facing the Ravens secondary or Myles Garrett.
If I could inject that plan into the brain trust of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now via satellite and they were to do it, I would push the button right now. Right now, I would do it. But they're too smart, I guess. They're too credible.
Too smart.
I don't know. I'd kill to see that team just make football so boring. That would shake up the NFL world so much. Do we need to ban the Steelers from running it too much? ESPN wouldn't know what to do. Nobody would know what to do.
See, the funny thing is in college football, you do get this where a team might end up into a situation where the quarterback that they have isn't as JJ McCarthy is the easiest first example, where you thought that your quarterback was going to be more impactful, but we're going to have to run the ball a shitload, and we're just going to have to keep running the ball. And when we have to put the ball in the air, we will when we absolutely need to. Doesn't really happen in the NFL. I think that a lot of offensive coordinators just stubbornly keep slamming their head against the wall. We're going to make this work. We're going to keep throwing the rock and stretching the field. And we're just going to it's going to set up the run. It's going to open things up at some point, right? It's going to work. It's going to work. I would like for more NFL offensive coordinators to have that college-based belief of convincing themselves that, we could survive if we decided to split the ratio more so 60% running and 40% passing.
I need a 70-30 with the Steelers team. I need
go get Anthony Richardson and do it. He's more impactful than what Michigan had when they were trying to do that whole bit with JJ McCarthy.
I swear to you, if he got moving downhill enough during a game, DBs would quit. DBs and linebackers would start making business decisions if they wanted to continue to tackle this guy throughout a game. Guys did it with Cam Newton. Guys did it with Tebow in the league. Anthony Richardson, meet the moment. Add 20 more pounds. Just go crazy.
I just don't know. Before we move on here, I'm just quickly scrolling through some of these backup options. God, there really is nothing because
what current backups in the league?
Yeah,
it's the worst it's ever been. It's as bad as it's ever been for backups.
So many that you theoretically could go and get. I'm not.
You want Flacco? You want Rivers? Is that where we're at now? I think that's where a lot of people are at.
Yeah, dude.
It's bad, man.
I mean,
Carr?
That's the other option. Do you think that you could pick up the phone and you could convince Derek Carr, which is not exactly a sexy option that gets you over the top?
Carr also may be too much of a man of God to lead on an NFL team to say my shoulder's fine when it's really blown to bits. Like we might have some tenderness.
I don't know how we got there with that, but okay.
Like I don't think he would be like, oh yeah, I'm all good, coach. He's not all good. His shoulder is falling apart.
That is fair. The NFL world was lit on fire when Dexter Lawrence was traded from the New York Giants to the Cincinnati Bengals. A lot of thoughts on what this trade means for both teams. We're not going to react to the trade because we're days removed from it, but I want to look ahead now what this means for the New York Giants, who own the 5th overall pick and the 10th overall pick. By the way, I was curious, and I was reading an article. The history of teams that have owned 2 top 10 picks, it's not great.
Oh, really?
One of those teams was the New York Giants recently, who those 2 players were Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau.
Hey, that worked out right. Kayvon's got 23 sacks in 5 years, and Evan Neal can't stay healthy for a full season.
How do you know that off the top of your head?
Because I was doing I was compiling numbers to see if Trayvon Walker, his extension was actually worth it, and it's really not because he only has like 27.5 sacks, and like Kayvon is very much on the same level, and he didn't get $77 million guaranteed.
I can't see. I was trying to see if I could quickly find that article, but I'm not going to be able to. Right now, the first position odds for the Giants to draft at 5th overall: linebacker at +140, safety at +300, wide receiver at +400, running back at +400, defensive line and edge at +500, and then all the way down at +1,000 is offensive line. I've been a little bit perplexed by that because I would think that Spencer Fano or Francis Mauigoa would be in consideration and would make sense for New York. But after sending away Dexter Lawrence, what do you as an outsider think it would make sense for the Giants to go here, and it would be their first selection?
I think the Giants have effectively given themselves a buffer to get a pick that they really want and a pick that would, I guess, like appease the team needs, where it's like, okay, let's get way better at this position. So at 5, you look at it, and I think that if Jeremiyah Love was there, they would take Jeremiyah Love. I think that that would lead them to then at 10 take best defensive player available at 10. And then if Jeremiyah isn't available, then it's at 5. They take best defensive player available, and then available. And then at 10, they take wide receiver 2 for Neighbors to have a pairing. If that's Carnell Tate, if it's Jordan Tyson, like they've given themselves an option to go luxury pick that they really, you don't expect a team as bad as the Giants to really take there when they need depth everywhere. And then reasonable, rational pick for an uber athletic guy that can immediately fill a gap.
The way that I've read this, I think that the way that you frame that is accurate. I think that more specifically, I think that the first pick is going to be whoever the best available defensive player is. If it is Sonny Styles, if it's Caleb Downs, if it's Arvell Reese, they're not going to take David Bailey. They're not going to take Ruben Bain. They're just not needs, which is funny. The fact that defensive line and edge is higher odds than offensive line. I would have thought at least offensive line would be ahead of that, and maybe even with running back. But I think that they're going to take any iteration of Styles or Downs because Reese is probably not going to be on the board. I still am of the belief that I don't think it makes a lot of sense to draft a gigantic linebacker when you signed a gigantic linebacker. It's a little bit redundant. You're typically looking for somebody a little bit more compact to play wheelbacker, somebody who can wade through the garbage while Tremaine Edmonds is taking on the brunt of force that's coming ahead of him as the strong side backer. But if they go defense there, to your point, I think that second pick coming back around is what is the more secure pick? What is the safer pick? What is the guy that is just going to elevate the floor and help us progress and just round out a roster that lacks depth and lacks solid starters at a couple of spots? The one thing for me and why I really believe this is going to be if Mauigoa is still on the board, Spencer Fano or Vega Ione, who I really want this to be Vega. I think that Mauigoa might be gone. I really want this to be Vega Ione. He is one of my favorite prospects in this class. His tape is so damn good. He's one of these guys that I feel secure saying he'll just have a reliable career. Maybe he doesn't go on to become an all-pro caliber dude, but sprinkle in a couple of Pro Bowls and just being a consistent starter that you can know, hey, he's a really good dude on our offensive line. That's what the Giants need at the current moment. But the reason why I lean on that is that Harbaugh and Shane multiple times throughout the offseason, the one position that they keep talking about is offensive line. They keep talking about like, hey, we still got to address this. We still got to draft somebody. We still got to look to figure out the guard spot. That is something that we need to work on before we go into the season. So I think that now that Lawrence is gone and the ability to draft a Lee Hunter in the second round, it gives them the chance to go with one of these best available interior guys.
Now, with the Mauigoa hernia stuff,
herniated disc.
Yeah. I mean, he could fall down to you. If he goes to the Giants, that means that he loses all of his first year due to the herniated disc. Other teams, he'd be healthy.
The misconception of this is that it's not an issue that he's not going to be available to play. It was just something with his back that he didn't even notice he had wrong with it. I think that it's more so like a worry that it becomes a long-term nagging problem, but I don't think teams are that worried about it. I think it's fake smoke.
Oh, interesting. Okay, then you probably won't get him. I tell you what, you get Ione, I look at this team differently. I really do. I look at them as an offense that I could see moving the rock down the field with some consistency, which is something they struggled with. They really do. If you have, as long as you're not getting blown up on the first 2 plays of the series, which the Giants love letting happen, they love letting the drive just go to all hell within the first 2 plays. You know what stops that? A killer beast guard like Vega Ione. And then you want to get the Scatterboo resurgence going in year 2 off of a lower leg injury. You know what helps? A monster beast guard that can clear the way and give him an easier lane. So maybe he doesn't have to take 1,000 hits a game. It's a smart play. How do they mess it up, though, Joe? What are the 2 picks they make where they mess it up? That is so much more fascinating to me.
Probably overdrafting Carnell Tate because they'd be able to pick whichever the other remaining receivers are still on the board. So overdrafting Carnell Tate at 5.
Mm-hmm.
and I've said this before. I hate that pick. I absolutely hate the idea of it. I think Carnell Tate's a good football player. I think at pick 10, it's a really good pick.
Yeah.
At pick 5, it's way too early, and it's very likely that there's some combination of Jeremiyah Love, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, and Arvell Reese. There's some combination of a bunch of those guys being on the board. That would be a mega reach. They don't need to do it. You have the 10th overall pick. You can pick the best player available and then address the need a little bit later, like you pointed out. The worst pick that they could pick at pick 10, that's like in the realm of possibility. The stupid one that won't happen is if they went like Kenyon Sadiq. They're not gonna do that. I'm trying to think. Maybe if they completely overdrafted like a Chris Johnson, the corner from San Diego State, who's a good football player, or they got completely geeked up on Omar Cooper Jr. and they just took him way earlier than everybody else was. Or another really stupid thing that they could do, draft like Monroe Freeling, like a tackle, which they could justify in some weird wonky way of like,
fell in love with this guy.
Yeah, dude, like, oh, you had such a high grade on him attack. It doesn't make any sense, but knowing Joe Shane, he'll somehow sneak that pick past. I don't know what else would be really.
I'm rooting for Omar Cooper Jr. so then he can get the OCJ nickname here in New York, like Odell Beckham Jr., Omar Cooper Jr. That makes too much sense. They would do it.
No.
Oh, they would do it, man.
Another one, if they took like Dylan Theineman.
Oh, yeah.
Really earlier. Like, I really like Dylan Theineman. But if they're like, shit, we missed Caleb Downs. All right, Dylan Theineman, come on down.
His over-under is like 17.5 in the draft.
I'm taking the under on that.
Really?
A white boy who can move like that?
Oh, I got the over.
You think the over?
Remember, I got him going to Philly at 23.
Yeah, we know. All right, let's close out here. Jeremiyah Love is now gaining a lot of steam to go 3rd overall. Sean, if Jeremiyah Love goes 3rd overall, it would be one of the dumbest things that happens on draft night. Now, I'd like to point out, last year around this time, there was buzz for Ash Genty to go really early, and then things shifted at the very last moment. A lot of times when you hear expectations for a team to pick a guy, a running back, especially this early, they're hoping, Arizona Cardinals, the situation could be hoping that Washington Commanders get excited and trade up. Someone trades up in order for the Cardinals to get a return so that they can continue to build their roster. But I am praying, as a Notre Dame fan, a fan of Jeremiyah Love, that he does not end up in Arizona. This would be probably at the top of the list of worst destinations for him to go to. The Cardinals' offensive line is one of the worst in the top 10. They've got one good starting offensive lineman with Paris Johnson. You know what that means? They need to accumulate picks and rebuild their offensive line.
Samalo's okay.
There is I like Isaac Samalo. That's a good point. I forgot about him.
They got two
good offensive linemen. The rest of the board is well below average.
It's terrible.
There is a comical outcome here. And I was on the phone with Ryan talking about this earlier. There is a comical outcome here. They take Jeremiyah Love, they trade back in to take Ty Simpson, which that philosophy is incredibly uncouth, completely uncouth. To take a running back and a young quarterback and thinking, we've got it all figured out. We've got our young pieces without addressing offensive line. It would be a season full of, man, why does Jeremiyah Love keep getting hit in the backfield? And why is Ty Simpson out for 4 straight games? Because he rolled his ankle because he got hit really hard and he planted awkwardly. For the
Madden franchise with injuries off. Like, that's how you build your team when you're 12. Because,
seriously,
the offensive linemen are all 70s, but, whatever. I'm throwing 5 picks a game and still winning, so who cares? Here's the thing. Here's why I don't think that they do this. James Conner, currently running back 1. They bring in Tyler Algier in the offseason.
Brother, Tyler
He's
Algier,
a great running back 2. but they have 2 running back 2s
But
right
Connor's expected. Wait, is James Conner still?
now. Yeah. Dude, he's representing the Cardinals at the draft in Pittsburgh because he went to Pitt.
I thought the expectation was that they were done with him.
He's still.
But regardless, he's not good enough to justify. Neither of those guys are good enough to justify.
No, I'm just saying it's crowded with both of them already. Like if I was sitting here looking at this like James Conner, Trey Benson, Bam Knight on the roster, like okay, cool. They could draft him. They could.
They also do have Trey Benson.
Yeah, they got 4 running backs already, man. So like
they probably move one of them.
And I honestly like move Conner, but like are they waiting to move James Conner on draft night to see what they can get? Like what are we stalling here for? I think it's more to your point of we're making interest to see if we can get a haul.
I almost spit out when you said what are we stalling here for? I almost spit out Joseph.
I do. I know exactly how yeah. We almost stalled no Joseph. That's right.
Is there a Joseph in this class? I'm trying to think if there's a. Oh, Joshua Joseph.
Oh, sure. So okay, all right.
He is a Arizona Cardinal. Look, I get what you're saying. I think that does make it a little more perplexing because they spent an early draft pick on Trey Benson. Trey Benson hasn't been able to blossom because there hasn't been any damn blocking for him. James Conner has been inconsistently available. I'm not worried about Conner. Tyler Algier also doesn't scare me away from drafting. If you really are vindicated in wanting Jeremiyah Love, and if you had theoretically a really good offensive line, I would pick Jeremiyah Love. So if you have talked yourself into it, I don't think it should stop you. So maybe you're right that should be some sort of an indication, though, of them trying to trade back and create a market for it.
If I was the Titans, Giants, or Commanders right now, I'd call their bluff. I'd say, go ahead, draft him.
The Giants are taking Jeremiyah Love.
If he falls in their lap, man, I'm not putting it past him. But I'd sit here. I'd say, I call your bluff. Go ahead, do it. I want to see you cutting guys now. I want to see what happens with this running back room that you have assembled now. You weren't ready for this. Are you kidding me? They knew their draft position months ago, and they're signing backs. Give me a break. You would obviously move Conner to 2. You wouldn't sign Algier, no matter if you could get him for $7 million a year. Like you just wouldn't do that. There's no maybe they would. They had 5 running backs get injured last year. 5 of them. Every running back on their roster got injured, put on the IR injured. So maybe they're sitting here like, oh, you get them all for 4 weeks. Maybe that gets me through the season.
This is why like the whole thing, like none of it
doesn't make sense. It does not add up.
I'm eating a sandwich and it doesn't taste like a sandwich. Like I just don't know what I'm like.
It tastes like noodles.
Yeah, that's like with Papa. I can justify like trying to talk myself into it maybe making sense for Arizona to consider doing it, but at the end of the day, I think Arizona needs to look in the mirror, and if they don't get this trade back that they're looking for the love of, that's what the whole circumstance that has been laid out there. So if they can't trade back, that they would just say, screw it, we're going to take them. I don't think that is the right path for them getting on track. And I also think that this is quite literally Ashton Jeanty 2.0. We just watched the Raiders completely waste Ashton Jeanty on a bad football team. If you're going to stink this upcoming year, go lean into that. And if you're the team that's going to trade back in for Ty Simpson, they've been tied to Ty Simpson. Didn't do that on purpose. They have been linked to Ty Simpson. They've been the team that has apparently loved him a ton. Drafting an offensive lineman is far better for you. They are the team that should want Francis Mauigoa. They're the team that should want Vega Ione or Spencer Fano. They should not be the team that thinks that their offense gets better with a young running back and a young quarterback with no O-line.
Well, we've also said that we don't think that Tennessee is necessarily a running back away, but at the very least, Tennessee has a quarterback.
They've also invested pieces into their offensive line.
Yeah, it's a different situation.
And they don't have to draft a quarterback. They wouldn't have to trade back in to draft that quarterback and then lose their second round pick. So their second round pick could go to an interior offensive line.
Yeah, they made big money moves, brought in a quality wide receiver by the name of Wan'Dale Robinson, who's going to solve all their ills. You know, they're going to draft the lights out this year.
Don't speak ill of.
I love Wan'Dale
Robinson.
I love Wan'Dale.
I think that you bring up the other point with this, that not having the quarterback is something that's also often overlooked.
What are we even doing?
You watch your team do this. The Falcons at least had a solid offensive line when they took Bijan.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a quarterback.
No.
They took Bijan and they thought, man, this is going to really take us over the top. And it didn't.
It does if you have a quarterback that is the 18th best quarterback or above. If you are in 19 to 32 of quarterbacks, you have no business ever taking a running back in the first round. You got other shit to worry about and fix. All right. This isn't, oh, honey, I think we need to paint the door. And that'll make everything. No, you have huge plumbing issues. Your load-bearing walls are rotting. Fix those, then you can paint the door and get a new TV.
I think that the better example is that you've got like you decide you've got a total reno and you just go ham on the deck. The deck is you get the full. You spend most of your budget, like $50,000, on completely redoing the stone, the furniture. You've got the outdoor bar set up. You got the outdoor kitchen. You've got maybe an outdoor TV set, all that stuff. And then you're done and you realize, well, it's gonna be a year until we can fix the rest of the house. There's a lot of holes in the house. That window's still broken.
Yep.
There's some asbestos that's also starting to build up.
Could we put a roof on the deck and make the deck the home now? Is that what we can do? No? All right. So it looks like 5 and 12. Noted.
Yep.
Nice. Awesome. Wow, the deck looks so nice though. The deck made the Pro Bowl in its rookie year.
I will say this though, and I hate to admit this, Jeremiyah Love in those red uniforms would be sick.
Boring to me.
Really?
Yeah,
I think he'd be more boring in the Titans uniforms.
The Titans uniforms are finally sexy, and Jeremiyah Love in those uniforms would have me chubbed up.
Red is fast.
Red is BS, dude. You know what the problem with the Cardinals is? They haven't worn a mismatched color in the new uniforms. It's always white on white or red on red or black on black. Like they don't mix it up. So they look like
stupid crayons.
Pajamas and crayons. Yes.
All right, everybody. We're going to be back. We're going to do another video tomorrow. We're going to be doing plenty of videos throughout the week. Hit that like button and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.